guys, how you doing? This is Manga, etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for Dragon Ball Super episode 107. We start the episode off with just a little numbers game, and what I mean by that is that we are told how many people are remaining. I can't remember the numbers off my head, I'm not going to lie to you, but I think what's important to mention at this present moment in time. Ooh. No, they lost one each, so they're still equal. Okay, yeah, no, because I just realized that some people got knocked off this episode. But at the beginning of this episode, and it's still true now, I think, is that Universe 6 and 7 have the most members on board. Universe 11 has the least members on board with 3, and now that is kind of interesting to me. And again, it goes into my whole mortal level debate because Universe 11 is the strongest. Universe 11 is the universe with the highest mortal level present at this tournament, and so they should technically have the strongest warriors. Again, it does go into how much higher their mortal level is to everybody else's, but they've got the least amount of members right now. However, the God of Destruction or the Supreme Kai, I can't remember which one, is saying it doesn't matter about the numbers, it matters about the quality. And I do agree, quality can be better over than quantity sometimes. And now it was also mentioned during this part that I think it was Universe 4. I think it's Universe 4 who's got those hidden warriors that no one can seem to sense, no one can seem to see. So there was a little reminder about that, kind of a hype to what are they going to do when they finally do appear, or just hype to what are they going to do later because they can't be seen and they can't be sensed. I reckon it's going to end up being something where a scenario where they don't really do much and like it was just a hype for no reason kind of deal, but that's just me. So speaking of hype, shortly after this, we got some Jiren hype, as I call it, or Jiren hype, which way you pronounce his name, where we have a scene where Universe 11 is taken on a member of another universe. I can't remember what universe right now, but this scene is just to hype up Jiren some more because he easily defeats the opponent with the force of an attack. And now, why this is important is because Goku reacts to it. He's like, whoa. I don't know if it's just initial shock, I don't know if he's worried, but he reacts to it, and it's because of Goku's reaction and what he does, and the reactions because of the again, I can't remember if it was the Supreme Kai's or God of Destruction, it just adds to his hype. So Jiren's got a lot of hype, a lot of hype going for him right now. So when he actually comes down to fighting someone seriously, he really does got to deliver. So before I talk about Frost and what he does within this episode, I just want to mention how Goku senses or sees, I can't remember which one exactly right now, but Goku knows Master Roshi's in trouble and he starts off running towards him. That's fair enough. But when he bumps into that girl, Bree, as I call her, I was thinking to myself, why didn't he to Master Roshi? And then again, because I noticed that, it just goes into my thinking that certain people within this tournament are not taking it 100% seriously. Goku being one of them, messing about too much. Vegeta being one of them, he's more serious than Goku, but again, I still feel like he's messing about sometimes. I reckon he could have finished off Frost without getting Mafeeble, but I'm going to go into that a bit more in a second. So Frost, within this episode, he is the main focus of the episode, where we fairly early in the episode we find out that Frost went to Champa and he's like, yo Champa, if I do X and Y and Z for you, you got to allow me in it because he's a fugitive right now. So he's like, if I can deliver during the tournament, you make it that I'm not a wanted man anymore. Champa's like, alright, cool. So we know that Frost wants his revenge against Goku's universe because they embarrassed him during the other tournament, and we know Frost is really after Vegeta because his main focus is Vegeta. That's where he really wants his revenge. So he goes to work within this episode. He starts his revenge within this episode, and he targets Master Roshi at first, and I think he does that because he's weak and vulnerable at this moment, and he wanted to use him to attract Vegeta. I think that was just his initial plan at first. And I just want to mention that, sorry, I was supposed to mention this before when I was talking about why Goku didn't react straight away. When Frost realizes that Vegeta is present and he sends a little key energy towards him, it just seemed like Vegeta was standing there and letting this happen to Master Roshi because the key blast is fired at him. Frost fires the key blast at Vegeta and like he reacts to it. Like the key blast doesn't hit Vegeta, so he could sense the key blast coming. So I'm guessing that he could sense that Frost was in the area, and I'm guessing that he could sense that Master Roshi needed help. But he was just standing there. But I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I said what I feel like Frost's plan was, but within this episode, the last thing I want to talk about is just Master Roshi and how he has been the MVP of this tournament so far. So within this episode, Master Roshi knows he's outclassed, but he's thinking, yeah, I need to take out first. I need to do at least this much. So he uses the retrieval wave. Because he's been using it so much during this tournament so far, he misses. Fair enough. Realistic. I liked it. So the fight continues now, and once Frost has seen Vegeta, he's like, alright, cool, I'm gonna get Vegeta to come over here. Frost like, I'm gonna get Vegeta to come over here, and then I'm gonna wait for Master Roshi to try this Mafuba wave again, and then I'm gonna turn it against him. So Frost um turns the Mafuba wave against Master Roshi, but uses it on Vegeta and seals him within the container. And now at this moment, I was thinking, oh my gosh, the theories are true. Vegeta is going to be third out, and I was like, all right, cool, that's actually going to be really exciting. But it doesn't turn out to be this way. Master Roshi, again, like I've been saying, he's the MVP of this tournament because he realized that it was his fault Vegeta got captured. He realizes that he's almost out of energy. He's essentially on death's door, but he says to himself, "I've got to rectify my mistake before I go." And he does. He frees Vegeta, and with Vegeta free, he goes to take out Frost and the train robot guy, but only manages to take out the train robot guy because Frost got away. I'm telling you, these guys ain't serious. If Vegeta was serious, he could have taken out Frost as well, but yeah, anyway, forget about that. So, because Master Roshi gave so much to the tournament, like he was on death's door, he just had to give up. So he fell off the stage, out of bounds, and then he gave a senzu bean because it was said that if he stayed on, if he continued, he would have died. So this is why I got to say that Master Roshi is the MVP of the tournament so far. He had this whole focus episode where he just did bits, everything he did there and then just to top it off. I'm not saying that what he did within this episode was better than his focus episode, but just to top it off, he did the most. He gave 100%. He gave 110%. He was focused all the time. Even when he was tired, he was still like looking out for enemies because he sensed Frost straight away. Granted, he wasn't able to sense exactly where he is, but he wasn't like, oh, I'm tired and beat. And then Frost came in and boom and attacked him like he was tired. Still looking out for enemies. So Master Roshi, MVP of the tournament so far. I don't care what you got to say. I'll argue this point to the death. I'm going to give this episode a 4-star. Oh, no. 3-star rating, call it review. Like always, guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. But most importantly, take care. Have a nice day.